Hello and welcome to Week 2 of Universe Point Productions coverage of the Indianapolis AlleyCats. I'm Heath Shanahan, and we have a crowded press box today. Joining me and carrying most of the heavy load are two former AlleyCats, Alex Hutton and Brian Ventura. Today the AlleyCats will take on the visiting Detroit Mechanix. The AlleyCats are coming off an opening day loss to the Madison Radicals 19-24, a game that they were very much in, only trailing by one mid-fourth quarter. The Cats saw good games from Aaron Schwartz, Cameron Brock, and Kyle Cox, but the real standouts were Travis Carpenter and Rick Gross. Alex, when looking at last week's game, what did you see?
Yes, thank you, Heath. Well, I was talking to the head coach, and in kind of combination with what I saw, watching the previous broadcast, and I definitely saw Rick Gross being a huge standout on offense. And one of the things that we were kind of sharing back and forth is that obviously notable guys, Rick can kind of fly under the radar. And so with the AlleyCats' own, what I like to call big three on offense, they have Brock, they have Plew, and Gross now. It's certainly able for Gross to maybe kind of fly under the radar. And so I think that Leonard really iterated the fact that Gross was really stepping up. He had some assists and goals and even a few Ds. And so that was, I think, really important for them. And so going forward, I really think there's going to be some matchup problems for other teams. Obviously, another standout was Travis Carpenter. You look at his skills as a defender first, and I think that that's obviously what people maybe go to, and they think of him in terms of being able to really get up in the air. But one of the things that Coach Leonard really stressed to me was the fact that when they got those breaks, Travis was helping lead that D-line offense, and they were able to score. And I think if he can continue to work on those skills, and I know, having seen him play for a while, that's something that he's been working on over and over and over again. He takes a lot of pride in that. And so I think that's going to be a big reason the AlleyCats could potentially surprise some people this season. And then the last person I want to mention, the last player, would be Nick Hutton. No relation to me, by the way, but obviously he's a great player. He had 1 block, he had 3 assists, and 0 turnovers. And that was the one thing that, again, I think really shows his maturity as a player. He really is trying to make sure he's making good decisions when they get those breaks. So the combination with Travis leading, being the primary handler when the D-line gets those turnovers, and Nick really making good decisions down the field, I think that the AlleyCats can continue to get breaks and win a lot of games this year.
Absolutely. Tonight is Game 1 for the Detroit Mechanix. The Mechanix went 4-10 last season, losing both games to the AlleyCats. The Mechanix return only 11 players from the 2016 squad, but have added some talent from local club teams such as Austin Engel to complement their returning stars of Dan Donovan and Nathan Champeau. Now, Brian, I know you had some chance to talk to some of the Mechanix players and coach before the game. What did you find out?
Well, Heath, it's no secret that Madison, who the AlleyCats faced last week, is really the class of the division. They've represented our division in the championship weekend every year that they've been here, I believe. And tell you what, though, with these new look Detroit Mechanix only returning 11 players, the division's only getting tougher. The AlleyCats did defeat Detroit all 3 times last year, but a lot of questions entering this night. A lot of new players. They will have 5 members of the local club team High Five. That's the Nationals level club team. So they're definitely bringing in some top-level talent, which they have not accessed in the past with the Mechanix. It'll be exciting. It'll be a real test, I think, for first-year head coach on the AlleyCats, Eric Leonard. We'll be integrating a few new players ourselves. We have 2 current Purdue players. They'll be gunning for Nationals here in a few weeks, so good luck to them. That'll be Jacob Fella and Mike Kobira. I think it'll be an exciting game. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think it'll be competitive, much more so than the bouts between these 2 teams in the past.
Absolutely. And it should be an interesting matchup, I guess, between the last 2 remaining original 8 teams in the AUDL. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with the starting lineups. You're watching the Detroit Mechanix and the Indianapolis AlleyCats on UniversePointProductions.com. We would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Health Zone Chiropractic. Enter the zone of peak performance and all-around great health. 5 Ultimate, supporting Ultimate from the end zone to the dance floor. Disc Store, offering the best service and best price on Ultimate gear, guaranteed. BE Ultimate, Ultimate players making Ultimate gear for the Ultimate community. Layout Ultimate, the most durable Ultimate gloves. Layout Ultimate, huck farther, throw crisper, and catch every pass with Layout gloves. Indiana Ultimate Foundation, supporting Ultimate at all levels in the state of Indiana. And of course, the Indianapolis AlleyCats. Alright, just hold still, guys.
Here are your starting lineups brought to you by Health Zone Chiropractic. Starting with the Indianapolis AlleyCats offense. Number 1, Keenan Plew. Number 2, Rick Gross. Number 3, Cameron Brock. Number 5, Aaron Schwartz. Number 22, Kyle Cox. Number 28, Sam Sohn. And number 78, Michael Ames. And now let's take a look at the Detroit Mechanix starting defense. We have number 1, Jeff Brawning. Number 23, Alex Capiamba. Number 32, Corey Green. Number 33, Eric Hubbard. Number 40, Bobby Moyer. Number 42, Nathan Champo. And number 82, Dutch Kirkman. Those were our starting lineups brought to you by Health Zone Chiropractic. Dr. John Rempel and Health Zone Chiropractic are proud to support and provide peak performance for Ultimate in Central Indiana. Visit them online at healthzonechiro.net. That's healthzonechiro.net. Next, here comes the opening poll brought to you by the Indiana Ultimate Foundation. The IUF's mission is to promote the growth and development of Ultimate at all levels in the state of Indiana. Learn more about the IUF at www.indianaultimatefoundation.com. Again, I'm Alex Hutton, alongside me Brian Ventura, and we are excited for a great game of Ultimate.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful day here in Indianapolis, and I think got a little bit of wind. When I was out there on the field earlier, it was more gusty rather than in a certain direction. We'll see how these teams, if that affects any throws.
Certainly. I think just like last week, we'll see if the sun possibly will be an issue. Michael Ames set to take the pull. He's going to center it to Cox. AlleyCats trying to gain those quick yards. Sohn looks upfield. Gross is going to take a quick shot downfield.
Hanging. It's an athletic play, but You leave the disc up that long.
Yes,
You're inviting it.
Yes, we'll see if the Mechanics can get a quick break to start the game. And we're talking about breaks here. Explain to us what we mean by that.
Well, it's sort of like in tennis. The offense is expected to score every point. When the defense does, though, we refer to that as a break.
Yes, and certainly Ultimate is a big game about defense. You got to get those breaks to provide that gap in scoring. So here we go. We got number 82, Dutch Kirkman. He's going to swing the disc. He's going to go for the quick strike cut and go to the other side of the field. Mechanics trying to use all this space provided to them, working it back and forth, really taking their time. Going for the end zone. Looks like we may have a call, so there is pass interference. So the Mechanics are going to be able to take it to the center of the end zone, right on the goal line.
Looks like we may have a double team coming in.
Yes. Green's going to have the disc. AlleyCats try to shut it down. And looks like we have our first score of the game.
Yeah, it's a tough one. But these guys are in good shape. They'll probably run out most of them here for this next point. Let's see if they can get back on track. Detroit did a pretty good job there once they got the disc of swinging it to side. We'll see if the AlleyCats can try to shut that down maybe last time.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, and we know the Mechanics are definitely going to try to, make a name for themselves this year. I know that, certainly a lot of times they don't get enough credit for, competing. I know that the AUDL, any game, it's about, making sure you're smart on offense, using the turnovers whenever your D-line can get them, and we'll see if the AlleyCats can come back with an answer themselves. Joey Carey in for the first time. He's going to get a quick look there. Carpenter is going to swing it over. Brock.
AlleyCats not really stopping here once they have the disc. Doing a good job of keeping Detroit on their toes.
Yes, they keep it moving. And then, are they going to rule that? I think they're going to say it hit the ground.
That's two quick ones on over the tops.
So he definitely had him there. He had the space, just kind of a quick throw and really blady, and I think it was going to be a hard catch to make.
High pressure situation. Carpenter looks like he peeled off there, but there's one.
Really nice poach D there. Really just saw them going quick back and forth. Both teams have really been doing that today, but he was able to really see the field well. Okay, and they're going to call, they're going to call that a catch. Jake Fella gets the score. Joey Carey with the assist.
Jake Fella, he's a player who can really add a lot of spice to this AlleyCats offense. He's a big guy, he's fast, and he's got good throws. And as you saw on that block there, he's got good instincts too. So it'll be exciting to watch him play. We missed him last week with Madison.
Yes, both teams really going with some quick shots. They're really trying to move it downfield.
Got good conditions. When the air's quiet like this, it's pretty tempting to try to put things over and around the defense. But
yes, decision making is definitely something that it's really hard to coach, I would say. As you can see, you really just got to be able to see the field and take those 100% throws.
Let's see how this first AlleyCats D-line can look.
One of the things you're going to see a lot is, a lot of times with these pulls, if it gets down there, teams can really get about 15, 20 yards before the defense really sets. Mechanics going to take a shot in the end zone.
Got Hutton trailing.
Hutton's going to go up for it, and he gets the D.
There he is. Just a golden retriever out there. Disc goes up, and you see his eyes just get that light in them.
Not one of the few SportsCenter top 10 plays we saw him make last year, but definitely a D, any D you will take at the end of the day. So AlleyCats trying to answer back here. Looked like Carpenter was getting ready to rip that. I don't know if he was really going to hesitate or if he was going to fake it, but pretty easy foul call there. Nice.
Another
way to back that up. That's Mike Kobira. This is his first year on the AlleyCats.
AlleyCats settling into a vert stack in the middle of the field here. Taking their time.
Really trying to use those athletic players they have on defense there and really just doing a good job of just quick reset if they need to. AlleyCats really taking their time. Mechanix are going to set a double team.
Got a scoop over the top. Can't connect.
And that's a lot of times, with only 7 seconds to throw, if you can get those quick double teams that you don't anticipate, a lot of times you're going to see those throws.
Yeah, it was essentially a 3-on-2. You had 2 guys on the mark, and there was still a defender on that backfield, and they had to try a pass over the top.
Seems like a lot of patience being used today, at least kind of, with in terms of, really trying to let the offense set. And then it seems like they're getting down to the end zone, and that's when it's kind of a little bit different story. But
the game changes a little bit on the end zone. On one hand, for the offense, you're not really needing to gain that many yards. But on the other hand, with the defense, you only have to defend a very small space.
Yes.
So it's a little bit tighter game.
Howard gets it off there at the last second, peels away. The AlleyCats don't pick him up, and he gets the score.
The AlleyCats did a good job when they stayed close last game with Madison. They converted on 5 of the 7 points where they got a turnover with the defense. So that's going to be big moving forward. When they get these chances, and I think they will, I don't think there's going to be a team in the division that's going to be quite as stingy with the disc as Madison is.
Yes.
So when they get these chances, we'll have to see, can they convert? They didn't that time, but I like their odds going forwards.
Well, as you can see, it's 2-1. The Detroit Mechanix the lead, and about 6 minutes have gone by here in the first quarter. So points maybe at a premium today. AlleyCats look like they're back with their starting offense here. Make quick work getting it up to near the 40-yard line here. Of course, about 30 yards downfield on this field here, because the end zone starts at when you're looking at this football field, the 10-yard line.
It's an unfortunate drop there by Sohn.
Yes, don't see him drop it too often. So Mechanix get another opportunity here.
Gross wanted that one.
He's going to take a shot downfield. Just a real...
Oh, that was a nice shot, but Cox making up the distance.
Sat up there for a little while, and Cox, he never let it go. He stuck with it, and he gets the D.
Cox is a surprisingly effective defensive player. He has a pretty large wingspan, really.
Yes. We know Cox is... We've seen him in the past in all the years with his AlleyCats really just making just unbelievable throws. But last week we saw him get a goal with the D there. It's just, a lot of times you don't want to underestimate these ultimate players. They really take pride in their athletic ability, and, they're able to make plays kind of all over the field.
Looks like we had another contact on Detroit. Sohn initiating. Got Plu open.
Yes, his defender was really off him there.
Coming.
We'll see this classic connection here. Plu to Brock. What seems to be the classic connection, we like to call it around here. Of course, last year we know that Keenan Plu and Cameron Brock were two of the few players to get 40 goals and 40 assists, and so that's something that I know that they take a lot of pride in.
Yeah, those guys are obviously dangerous players. Both of them, like you said, 40 goals, 40 assists. They've really, Keenan's been able to do it all for years. Cam's really improved his throwing in the last couple seasons as well, so definitely exciting to watch.
Definitely something to where, you got to have your cutters that are down there be able to make throws. Obviously they need to be sort of multi-dimensional. And Nick Hutton going to go with the roller pull out of bounds. Still gets it
look for him to
good ways
double
down
team
there. Yes, and that's what they do. They kind of near it closer and closer.
AlleyCats are in a bit of a junky defense here.
Really just trying to make the Mechanix make a lot of throws.
Right now they seem content to swing it around, but moving backwards and moving to that sideline. I think that's really what this defense wants.
Yeah, primarily working the disc through Donovan. Daggers out there. Howard also touching the disc a lot. Those guys have been making really good decisions all day.
Transitioning to man. He's got a chance. Got an injury timeout on the field.
Yep, calls an injury timeout. Looks like that's going to be Ben Murphy walking off the field there. Ref's going to give him 10 yards. They're going to set it back in. The AlleyCats have been making these Mechanix make a lot of throws, but then, of course, they look for the opportunity, and it's incomplete. So the AlleyCats get an opportunity here.
A little too far there.
Well, looks like we're actually going to have a call. Are we going to have a foul, I think, on the mark there with Nick Hutton? So Mechanix are going to keep the disc, get another 10 yards, and then set their offense back up. They're really generating a lot of space downfield there. I mean, you see all of that wide open space for cutters just to flow freely. Really hard to guard in the AUDL when you have just so much space going back and forth, swinging the disc. You really just got to have a lot of endurance. Carpenter leaves his man, sets up the double team. It looks like, again, the Mechanix are really just going to be able to rely on their throws today.
Kasper Zicki with a good look. There was contact, though. It looks like he kind of went into the body of the...
Yeah, it kind of went around in there a little bit. So that's 3 fouls for the AlleyCats on this possession here. So let's see if the Mechanix can really make good use of that.
Looks like they're isolating Carpenter's man. It's a tough situation again. Got the whole end zone to work with, but...
Carpenter shuts him down.
Yeah, Carpenter Island staying dry.
Well, other than the few throwaways that have really just been results of foul calls, the Mechanix have made a lot of throws here, and we're down to 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter, and it's tied at 2. So, as we said, it's really just going to come down to those few points maybe here towards the end. If it's going to be a 1 or 2 point game at the end, you're going to think back to all these points at the beginning where teams were just really patient.
Carpenter with no regard for humanity gets the block. That's the one they've been looking for.
It looked like the refs were about to call a stall, and then I think they let it go, and then Carpenter gets the D and just immediately rips it downfield. Levi Jacobs looking for it, and he comes up with a great layout catch.
It's a great grab.
Immediately throws it, and thrower and receiver just not on the same page.
And you understand sometimes these defensive guys, they had so many chances at that point and they get a block. They're a little fired up, but I know Coach Leonard's been preaching that when you work so hard to get the disc, you got to treasure it maybe a little bit more.
Yes.
You got to go the whole field, though.
I can't comment officially on whether that. I think I'd certainly give Carpenter the D on that one, and if so, that would put him in the 100 goals, 100 assists, and 100 Ds club. Not sure exactly how many people are in that officially in the AODL, but only Goose Helton, I'm being told. And, with all the talk with Mr. Triple-Double Russell Westbrook himself, Carpenter making a case.
Slides in for the stats. Another quick one, and that's the break that AlleyCats needed.
And as you can see there, it's 3-2 now. AlleyCats are up 1 point. And that took, somewhere around, I think, 4 or 5 minutes off the clock just going back and forth. I I don't think you usually see that a lot, especially in the AUDL. You see a lot of high-scoring games, but, I mean, I certainly think that, you get those opportunities and you got to take them. Carpenter really sees well downfield, and he just gets the quick throw to Dana Granholm.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Indiana Ultimate Foundation. The IUF's mission is to promote the growth and development of Ultimate at all levels in the state of Indiana. Visit them online at indianaultimatefoundation.com.
Defense out there looking for another one. Now, AUDL games, because of the time and the time between points, generally run the length of an AUDL game seems to be about 2.5 times of as much actual on-field time as a club game. Those points like that one, big 4 or 5 minute points, they really wear down an offense. And not that these guys aren't in good shape. You'll see them out there most of the same line, still running hard. But once this gets around third or fourth quarter, those points are going to pay off big for your defense. Gross, elevating, gets the block.
Really just his man had a little space there, but of course Rick Gross, we know, can make up for that.
He looked like he had the size in the match, so he was letting his guy maybe go deep, thinking he could get a shot on something if they tried to put it over him.
Yes, so AlleyCats have an opportunity again here to put another one on the board, and it looks like they're going to call a timeout. AUDL is a little bit different than most of the other Ultimate you might see in terms of you can call timeouts and substitute players onto the field. So if you get a turn like that, especially as you said, with players are getting tired, you can mix in other players and you can sub. And so the AlleyCats are definitely going to go with an offensive line here. Looks like they have Cox, Schwartz, Carey, Plew, Brock, Ames, and Gross out on the field.
Let's look at this. Look at this block again. Gross.
Just really hit it at the right time. He timed it well and just seemed like maybe he had a few inches left in him, but definitely.
Oh, I think he did.
Yeah, I'll give you that. He definitely had a few inches left in him. But, of course, AlleyCats are really determined here. Kyle Cox, he's really one of the leaders of the team.
Personal preference.
If either team gets a Callahan in today's game, 5 Ultimate will offer a 10% discount from their store for the next 24 hours. If a Callahan happens, we will be given the code and share it with our viewers.
Looks like we got Cox starting with the disc. We got Plew isolated in its space.
Schwartz immediately just takes all those yards they were going to give him, and then Plew looking downfield, the hammer to Gross in the end zone.
That's a break for the Cats. Where Gross must have come at that point and said, I'm getting this disc. So I'm going to put it in the end zone.
He gets the block.
On the O or not.
Yes, he gets the block, he gets the score, and he gets the bookends, as we like to call it.
That's a nice hammer by Plew.
I think just a perfect night, as you said. Maybe a little wind, not too much, so you definitely have maybe all your throws in your arsenal. Plew definitely knows he has that, and so just obviously Gross is able to position himself well and just on the same page, and AlleyCats take a 4-2 lead here now. Only 15 seconds left. What do you think their strategy is here in terms of, looks to me like they have a lot of their big guys out there.
Yeah, they'll put some big guys back, and they'll probably run down here, try to set up 1 or 2 guys in front of the thrower to make him throw something around him. Yeah, 2 of the biggest guys on the field, Kasper Zicki and Wenger. Looks like they're coming down to try to set something flat up.
Yes, definitely going to try to not allow the huck downfield.
Looks like you got the all-hop squad. Oh, Carpenter.
Carpenter gets in
block.
there. You just saw him
He's
close
got
that
time.
space.
4 seconds, puts one up. Wenger. Big fella. Oh, just not able to bring it down. That's a good look, though. That's about as big as you can hope. You stop the initial one without even giving them a look at the end zone and then putting up one where you get one yourself.
Travis Carpenter just does a great job of closing the space there. Gets the great awareness to know that he's got to get that disc off, and just almost gets the quick score there at the end.
Block. Carpenter taking the angle past his man. Heads up, picks it up.
So at the end of the first quarter here, we have the AlleyCats 4, Mechanix 2. So as I said, points are at a premium here. They're expensive, and so only a 2-point lead. Mechanix certainly not out of it yet, and AlleyCats, I think they got a few things to maybe clean up. What would you say was kind of the key thing there in the first quarter?
Absolutely. Well, I don't think the score really reflects just how tight that quarter could have gone either way. Fortunately, the AlleyCats came out ahead, but both teams had multiple chances to put it in off break chance. The AlleyCats started slow, maybe a couple jitters, but looks like they cleaned it up. Defense is converting. That's always good. I think it's going to be an exciting game. Yeah, so we're getting some of the getting to see some of these different defensive looks. Madison, of course, is famous for running zone, and if you're really want to get into deep and down dirty in the Ulti World has a podcast called Deep Look with their editor Charlie Eisenhood, and he had the Madison Radicals owner on. I don't know if you got to listen to this, Alex, but they got Tim DeBile on that podcast, and he was talking about how people really. They asked the question of, what do people still need to figure out about how to play in the AUDL? And he said, one of the things that I took away with it, he said, we've got to figure out how to play defense. The field is so much larger here. So much more space. And there's a couple of rule changes, but we saw Madison looking like a lot of more, defending spaces rather than just individuals like you do in a traditional man defense.
Yes, and as you said, like the double teams that are used that you don't see elsewhere, it creates all this space, and you try to sometimes, make the offense make decisions they might not otherwise make, and they try to make them move the disc in a way that would present challenges and give you opportunities to make Ds. But then, of course, it just sometimes frees open space elsewhere, and it's really hard, as you said, to just really play defense. There's just so much room to work with.
People got to think about it differently. And if there was ever a line that could get a block, it's this one. Looks like we got Jacobs, Kobira, Carpenter, Fella, Hutton, Loskar, Ringwood.
AlleyCats going with their big guns here. They
got a lot of rangy defenders on this. Mechanix running a bit of a side stack here.
Yes, they've really, again, just been trying to swing it back and forth.
And not a lot of looks outfield for them. We got some pretty good cutter defenders there.
They got Angle back. They got Steslicki out there, really just, again, waiting. And if they don't see anything downfield, just taking the immediate look across and just working it between their hands.
That's good instinct. He's got his man going deep.
And they were just patient, and they took their shot when they had it.
That was a good throw. It's kind of fading away from the defender, Kobira. Didn't really have a chance to make a play on it. Had a good position.
Angle with the flick huck. And Mechanix, there we go. It's just a 1-point game. Quickly there in the second quarter.
Yeah, 4-2 is not a lot. You got a lot of game left.
Yes.
Was that the first clean offensive possession for the
Might very well have been. Again, a lot of throws, but They got it in the end zone.
Had a couple opportunities there, but you got to think these guys are coming out for their first game. They might have a little nerves going on themselves.
Yes, carry in for Sohn on the offensive line here. So AlleyCats going with most of their starters to begin their first O point here in the second quarter. Again, just sometimes defense will give you those free yards. Cox with the look downfield. Brock's going to come up with it.
Puts that on a shelf for him out in space.
Didn't have to really slow down, just in stride. Makes the catch in the end zone.
Another clean possession here as the offenses are settling down a little bit, I think. Looks like we may have a bit of a junk defense line coming out here for AlleyCats.
Don't forget to stick around at halftime for our scrimmage showcase. The ultimate women's teams from Indiana and Valparaiso are here to battle out at halftime to highlight the amazing women's ultimate scene here.
Using some of their reserve D players here. Got Hutton, Carpenter, Wanger in, Kasperzicki also, but mixing in John Jones, Heath Kalaba, Dana Granholm.
Wonder if Carpenter meant to get that out of bounds, but fielded at the 30.
Mechanix able to work it quickly up to the 30, about 32-yard line.
Oh, barely threads that one through.
Primarily working it through angle. Dagger getting a lot of touches today as well. But as you can see, those three there, Donovan, Dagger, and Angle, have been just working it back and forth and then just waiting for those looks upfield, just taking all those yards. They'll just swing the disc, and then they'll just see are those free yards there to gain. Looks like AlleyCats maybe had a miscommunication there, able to gain the yards.
Transitioning. Good heads-up play from Wanger, able to cut that pass off. And here's the defense getting another chance. Got John Jones deep downfield, but
didn't see him in time, but then just made the smart decision to work the disc. Carpenter hits Hutton.
Not really sure what sort of an offense the AlleyCats are running here.
There have been a couple times where it looks like Nick Hutton's really just wanting to throw that downfield, but again, not seeing anybody and then making the smart decision to just possess the disc. Carpenter, Kasperzicki puts his hand up for the disc, and Carpenter hits him with the perfect throw.
It's another break. That's one of the beauties of this zone defense. A lot of times you create some chaos whenever you're transitioning out of it to man. Some of that may make players look more open than they are. Wanger able to pick off one of those. He's really been a pretty big playmaker here in his first 2 games as an AlleyCat. And by big, I mean he's probably, what, 6'6", 220, 230?
It's a fair assessment.
Looks like Carpenter's out there with the disc again, ready for the pull. Seeing Fella join the line. Jacobs as well.
Nice lofty pull there, getting downfield. AlleyCats able to set up their defense.
I think he got a piece of that one.
There's pressure on the double team, as you said.
Kabir's looking for this. He's going to try to jump the lane. Goes upfield. Picked off by John Jones.
Again, another good job there. The AlleyCats just looking for their opportunities and then attacking the lane whenever they see the throw. So let's see again. AlleyCats with the opportunity to go
Jacobs
up 4
in space.
points.
Scott Ringwood. And that's another break. AlleyCats starting to blow this one open here in the second quarter.
I think that's their largest lead of the game there. 4 points.
Absolutely. Looks like Detroit's calling timeout. Here we got Jacobs. Great throw to space. Hits a small window there, but Ringwood right in the numbers, right in stride.
Whenever you see Jacobs and a lot of people, they make those cuts, those strike cuts as we call them, and then he'll immediately look downfield, and that's got to be the first look. You got to be able to time it, and then Ringwood, like you said, not a whole lot of space, but Jacobs able to fit it in there.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by Dr. John Rimple and Health Zone Chiropractic, proud to support and provide peak performance for Ultimate in Central Indiana. Visit us online at healthzonechiro.net. That's healthzonechiro.net.
Get out your phones right now. Pull up our Facebook page, facebook.com/Indianapolis AlleyCats.
I think the AlleyCats right now, they're getting pretty much what they wanted here. They're getting a lot of chances on defense, and they really started to convert after that first quarter.
Yeah, it almost looked like they came out a little flat at first, and
Definitely some nerves.
Well, a 7:30 game on Saturday. This is new for them, already this year. So the weather is different than last week. Last week it was a nice 60-degree day, and the sun was almost right above us. So it was a little more difficult coming in with the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. When it's on that horizon, it does affect some of those throws and catches.
Speaking of a little wind, you got this 5 Ultimate. This is Daybreaker. You said you got me here.
That's a day walker.
Day
5
walker.
Ultimate was
okay.
nice enough to send us some gear, and they sent you the nice day walker there.
I gotta tell you, I'm sitting up here. I'm comfy. I mean, like, there's a little breeze. It's got a hood on it. I mean, I'm looking great. I know you can't see me, but if you could, trust me, I'm looking great in this thing.
Well, here in the fourth quarter, we're gonna be giving out one of the bookends day walkers, so stay tuned for that.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're a sport just like any other. We like cool swag. It's got to be a part of it.
Getting another pull out of bounds. It's like we're going to have Wenger and Granholm on the double team. As slips that one past the Ball State line. Closing back in, though. That's the tough one. You get that one up the middle, get it past those defenders, and off to the races.
Interesting play there. High fives not on the stat sheet, unfortunately, so the Mechanics get to keep the disc. Again, Angle and Donovan, two of the primary handlers today for the Mechanics. And that's going to be Howard catching it in the end zone for the score. He's got 2 of their goals so far today.
Yeah, Detroit able to, once they finally got it off that sideline, they were able to put it in the middle of the field. And that's a lot of area to cover for Jones there.
So Dagger swings it to Steslicki and then hits Howard.
These guys are walking off knowing they got some chances, but so far I don't think there's a lot to complain about. Up 3 on offense. Looks like we got our standard O-line here for the AlleyCats. We haven't really seen any different looks from Detroit defensively. Mostly been playing man-to-man.
AlleyCats quickly run over, get into a side stack. They got Rick Gross isolated with a lot of space. Cox hits Carey, who then hits Schwartz. Gross on the sideline.
Brock had a well-timed cut, but I believe that's Hubbard. Nope, this is Campiamba. Good defense.
Yes, he's been, I think, one of the I think few maybe two-way players we've seen for them today. He's gotten some O&D looks for them as well.
Good chance. Brock able to reel it in.
Hubbard with the layout, not able to D it.
Back around again. It's a big swing. Looks like a couple people misread that one. Blue had a shot, even though his defender looked like he had a better angle on it.
Yeah, coming in quick, and his defender gets up, and sometimes it's just you have a split second to then try to reach out and catch it, and it just goes by. So Mechanics with one of the maybe few break opportunities they've had here recently. So definitely down 3, could obviously use this point here. Gets the break throw.
Good job forcing them to go backwards. There's not a lot open upfield. Seem to be content right now to try to swing it around and look for something open.
Yeah,
up.
they've been losing nothing but losing yards there, and finally gained some yards again.
Shot goes up. Schwartz closing, but that one's put well to space. A little bit too far for the Mechanics.
Seems like it was going to stop, and then just kind of sometimes it'll just keep floating away from you, and then by the time you maybe decide to lay out,
Looks like we got
too late.
maybe an injury timeout. Looks like another Mechanics player.
Can you tell what number that is in the body up front?
So the AlleyCats will get the disc back once the injury substitution is complete for the Mechanics.
I'll grab it. That was
Xavier Klena, the injured player for the Mechanics.
For an injury timeout, each team is allowed to swap one player before beginning the next set.
So the Alleycats
Coming out
sub
again.
in Travis Carpenter, it seems. They're going to add him out there.
Isolating Gross in space again.
Had to
it's
just
a pick.
throw that up. That was going to be a stall. He just kind
like
of a
a bit of
last-second throw.
I think it was a bit of a miscommunication there. Timeout called by the Mechanics. That's their final timeout of the half. I might prefer to let the defense see that they can fast break there a little bit, but I guess breaks are coming at somewhat of a premium. The Mechanics want to try to put out a line, make sure they can punch this one in.
So Alleycats keeping Carpenter out there, but other than that, put in one of their primary D lines.
Looks like they're going to be spreading out the field and again isolating. I believe that's the same player for the Mechanics.
Yeah, they got Nick Hutton guarding him now, but again, like you said, not very far to go, but maybe could have given them some time to quickly transition, but now the Mechanics with their
peeking over there
a line
Hutton
out there.
with a shot, but just too much space.
That's Anthony Davis.
He quick. And I believe that's the player they isolated last time. Carpenter was able to shut down. Hutton had a chance there. I think that's the one he wanted, but maybe just a few inches closer.
So we got a 7-5 game. Alleycats lead. 5:51 left here in the second quarter.
Indianapolis, Indiana area. So stay in those seats.
Starting to see the offenses speed up a little bit, maybe as they're getting a hang of things here. We've been around a while, the AlleyCats, but this is only the second game of the season, so sometimes people take a little time to get really into the smooth initiation of these plays. Here's a good one. Got carrying space completely unmarked.
Yeah, Mechanics just, I don't know what their miscommunication or Alleycats able to just quickly work it well past midfield before the Mechanics even set a defense, and even then they've still not really, the Alleycats have, each time the throwers have had it, have only had it for maybe a few seconds.
Looking back around. Fake by carry, and this man peeled off to try to stop that. Able to catch up, though. Sohn snags it. The big fundamental puts one up. That's a clean look. Classic connection.
Classic connection, like we said. Cameron Brock there with his third goal. Keenan Plew with his third assist. So sometimes you see it kind of going back and forth, but it's just been Plew racking up the assists, Brock racking up the goals.
Plew is just such a talented thrower. That's the same throw that several people have tried to put up in this game already, and maybe that was the first one completed, but he makes it look easy there.
That's a very good point. Definitely seen a lot of different lines, different looks here in terms of the defense. They've really just tried to, maybe they're looking for what works, or I think they just, again, trying to use their depth.
Yeah, absolutely. Another difference between traditional club and AUDL Ultimate is that you're only taking 20 players. You're only dressing 20 players for a game. So while normally, teams will run about 10 or 11 offensively in the rotation, they would have another 15, 16 guys that they're going to play for defense. But when you only have 20, you're going to have to, of course, have some guys that mix and match in between the lines, like we have Carpenter here, who'll play both ways, as well as Fella. But you don't have really that many more legs on defense than you do on offense. Got to try and rotate everyone to keep them all fresh. Looking big. Fella in pursuit.
Jake Fella.
That is a man's block by Jake Fella.
Like you said, he's really just going to be able to provide a lot of energy. I mean, I don't think I see him get tired a lot. I think he's really he's got a lot of energy in him. He's going to bring, I think.
I look for him to take over here on offense. I think he's just a nightmare matchup of size, speed, and, as you may see, throwing.
As we mentioned at the opening, Carpenter is going to be, usually if
Carpenter
he's out there,
gains a few extra yards.
If he's out there and the defense gets the turn, you're going to see him pick up the disc a lot. He's going to try to not necessarily control the offense here for the D-line, but definitely try to work the disc through him at times. Maybe a little bit of contact there, but definitely letting the play go on. Yes, John Jones, we didn't see him too much last year, but he's healthy. He's been working hard, and he's ready to really contribute this year.
Nice throw to space by Wanger.
Yes, Wang. I know. I've talked with him. He's really
John Johnson. That's another break for the AlleyCats.
Wanger's really just been working hard, and this is his first year on the AlleyCats. And you see him. He's not a practice player. He's up on the roster. He's been playing the first two games, and he's ready to again contribute as well.
Granholm, nice throw out to space.
Another product of Ball State. Gotta give respect to my Ball State guys. But again, looking here, just all across the stat sheet, you're seeing different guys get assists, goals, blocks, just everywhere. No one with really more than 2 or 3 of any stat. So the AlleyCats definitely taking pride in the fact that knowing they can put anyone out there on the field and they can contribute.
Absolutely. I think you'll see these guys have been playing together for a couple of years now, and they're really starting to trust this system and really starting to own it. And I like a lot of these matchups across the field. I think we have a lot of speed. Although I say that, and Sohn, one of the quicker players, is matched up against Anthony Davis. He's a nightmare in space.
Yes, definitely been one of the guys they've been isolating a lot more today. But I'd be interested to see, how many touches a lot of these 3 or 4 primary handlers the Mechanix have, but floating it up downfield, and
that's an unlucky break there for the
guys
AlleyCats.
There to back him up, helping out his teammate.
Mechanix get away with one there. Put up a bit of a sky ball. Hutton trolling in the area, but
so again, Angle.
Yeah.
Angle's been he's been hucking. He's not afraid to throw it downfield today.
And I think throws like that are kind of a production of they're not getting a lot of easy looks underneath. They're able to swing it around a few times with the handlers, but they're having to put up some of these things, these more 50-50 type balls. And while Nick Hutton may be kicking himself a little bit over missing that one, I think that Coach Eric Leonard, he'll take that. He'll take those chances all night.
Yeah, AlleyCats making use of the side stack, but then quickly flipping the field. Carey had to reset there. Gross was downfield, but just wasn't able to time it. He had to come establish his pivot back in bounds.
Out on the shelf, and Kyle Cox running that one down. Somebody get that man some oxygen because he was moving. AlleyCats able to just kind of go up their home sideline. That's not what you want to see from the Detroit Mechanix of your defense. A lot of times you want to make them, like the AlleyCats have been doing, make them try to swing it around, get a different look, but sometimes when you gain a lot of quick yards like that, the defense just never really has an opportunity to catch up downfield.
No, and with that goal there, I mean, that we have it's 10-6, AlleyCats lead, 2:15 left in the second quarter, and we have about 8 different players here that have scored a goal for the AlleyCats. Only one player with more than one goal, and that's Cameron Brock with 3. So again, really sharing the wealth here today for the AlleyCats.
Really a band of brothers out there on the field.
And like you said, they've been playing together for a few, primarily their core groups, and playing together for a while. And that's one things that you'll hear people mention a lot of times with the AlleyCats, and that's something that I think can be to their advantage. Just a quick throwaway there, just a bad throw that's usually completed. So AlleyCats again here with the opportunity to quickly transition. AlleyCats not calling a timeout, leaving their D-line in. They have one timeout left, but again, we were talking about earlier their trust in their D-line to get it done, and they do.
That's another easy conversion for the AlleyCats there. Kind of running a bit of a triangle, you might say.
Yes,
with the handlers looking to really attack upfield and threaten with their break throws. They're able to, really without much of a challenge there by Detroit, punch in another break.
Yes.
You got to think that this O-line for Detroit has got to be gassed.
Definitely something new. I don't know if I've really ever mentioned this too much when it comes to talking about the AlleyCats. We have 9 players that have scored for the 11 different goals. They have 9 players. And that's definitely, again, I think something that you can contribute to their really their dedication to being in shape and just being able to rely on, again, the 7 players, any of them that are out there on the field.
Well, Indianapolis, I think, is a bit of a unique, as we see this pull go off, bit of a unique case in the AUDL that we're not really pulling from any established club teams. Detroit, and they have reason to be excited about it, but they've recruited some of the talent that they had in the area with some of their high-five players, but AlleyCats have been developing a lot of these guys.
Yes.
And that means every year this team is only getting deeper.
Yes, we know that the primary men's club team here, Brickyard, a lot of these AlleyCats players have played on it just to add to that, the camaraderie and the chemistry that they have. We know that, but that's been a couple.
And that's the Callahan by the Mechanix.
There we go.
I believe we have a 5 Ultimate have a special here for these. If we
will have an announcement on that very soon. With that Callahan, there will be a discount available online, and we will get that information to you. But again, Steslicki there with the Callahan. I mean, he was there. He was close. There wasn't a whole lot of space, and I think if you're going to make that throw,
a little bit,
got to put it a little bit more out to space. Would you say?
Well, it looked like Carpenter had a little space, but the Mechanix player was really keyed in on that throw, and Hutton might not have noticed it. I think he just glanced back, saw Carpenter had some space, and put one out there expecting not as much resistance.
So one of those interesting things there where you'll see they have 7 goals, but they don't have 7 assists because, well, he did all the work himself. He got the D, he got the goal.
That's another block by the Mechanix.
That Callahan just leading to,
maybe a short field.
Maybe just a bad decision there, and Mechanix able to maybe get the goal here and bring it to within possibly a 3-point game.
Tight D by Schwartz here. Kind of Mechanix over on the sideline. Looking at the line. Not a lot there.
Brock almost with the foot block there on Champo. Mechanix working the disc back and forth here.
Ball's out.
And just
Mechanix dropped that disc.
It's one of those instances where, Corey Green there, he knows that that's definitely a catch he's going to make most of the time, but just didn't that there. Maybe took his eyes off it for a split second. AlleyCats get a gift handed back to them. Let's see if they can make use of it. Plu really directing the field.
5 seconds. Puts one up. Is it going to make it? Gross comes down with the score. Keenan Plu really airing out over the top today.
Keenan Plu with his 4th assist there. Cameron Brock with his 4th goal. But again, you saw Keenan Plu there doing a good job of directing downfield. Took a quick look up at the clock, and then Cameron Brock with a good catch. Are they going to put time back on the clock? Looks like they're going to consider that the end of the half here. So we're going to come to the end of the first half. AlleyCats are going to lead 12-7. So, Brian, what do you think maybe the key there for the first half, quickly?
Well, I think it's the conversion rate for the defense after they got those initial jitters out. Both teams are having chances. The AlleyCats are able to punch in some of these break opportunities, come up 5.
Yeah, again, originally it was looking like maybe it was going to be a kind of a low-scoring game. I think we know last year when we were talking about kind of that 25-point mark was kind of where the AlleyCats usually needed to get in terms of whether they were going to win a game or not. But of course, maybe they're certainly not on track for that. Yeah. But again, you only giving up 7 goals. Certainly, that can allow you to do that.
We got a halftime exposition here. We have the IU Hoosier Mamas versus the the Calamity Janes. The Hoosier Mamas are the men's club team from IU. And it's versus the Valpo College club women's team. We're going to leave the stream live, and Alex and I will be back soon to continue with the second half. The Indianapolis AlleyCats versus the Detroit Mechanix.
Successful fall season in Valpo winning history, winning no consequences and Huck of the Irish, and placing 3rd at Glory Days. After a long winter of practicing indoors, Valparaiso has played in 2 tournaments this spring season. First was Old Captain Open, where they survived the cold, wind, and rain, placing 5th out of 16, losing the quarterfinal game to University Iowa State. Last weekend they traveled to Champaign, where they played in the Illinois Light. They took 2nd place out of 9, losing on University of Denver. They're currently ranked 7th in D3 and are looking forward to their conference tournament in a few weeks. purchase a 50-meter raffle ticket, you don't only give yourself a chance to win some cash, but you make sure we put some benefits to these two amazing Ultimate Women's teams.
Now let's take a look at the Layout Ultimate Gloves Ultimate Grit Catch of the Half. We have Gross to Cox here down the sideline. That was the Layout Ultimate Gloves Catch of the Half. Layout Ultimate, huck farther, throw crisper, and catch every pass with Layout Gloves. Layout Ultimate Gloves would like to give out a pair of gloves to a viewer. Tweet at universe_point using the hashtag LayoutUltimate and tell us why you want some gloves. We'll pick a winner in the fourth quarter. Speaking of picking a winner, it's a bit tough. We had Cox because he had the gloves, but just let's look at this grab again from Levi Jacobs. Doesn't get much better than that, but hey, we got to pay the bills somehow.
There you go. Let's give a huge round of applause for the women's teams from Indiana and Valparaiso, being the first ever teams in our halftime showcase scrimmage.
All right, and we are back here,
Good luck.
getting ready to start the second half here in just a few minutes. Again, we were making the comments there. AlleyCats definitely using their depth and their athleticism to their advantage. Getting a lot of people in the stat category. Mechanics. Really, I think just they're able to move the disc, and the AlleyCats, I think, are sort of maybe allowing that a little bit more, allowing their handlers to swing the disc back and forth, and then just really doing a good job of trying to play tough defense downfield. And that's maybe just been the difference here. You know, it's I think definitely not something where the AlleyCats have pulled away, but definitely something to where, you know, it's anyone's game here in the second half.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's just going to be, I think, maybe about coming out here very strong. AlleyCats are going to start here on offense.
Looks like we've got the standard O-line coming out. Got Carey on the field as well. But yeah, 12-7. Both teams having a lot of chances to break. AlleyCats able to convert most of their chances in that second quarter. That's where they really blew it open. The Mechanics finding their stride with some big plays. They had the Callahan. They had a couple blocks, a short field. 5 points. Not a lot here in the AUDL. I'm also having some, as the sun is set, we're having temperatures drop. Air gets a little more humid. The disc tends to fly a little bit differently. Wind also calms down though, so see if our throws get any more creative and if those creative throws are any more successful in this half.
Capiamba, again, been their primary puller of the day. Ames is going to start with the disc in the center of the field. Gross has been almost like the initial cut to start a lot today. But then Gross makes the turnover. Looks like he was going for it all and just wasn't able to get enough power into that backhand hook. Mechanics with the early opportunity to break and get a 4-point game.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he saw there. Maybe it was a miscommunication. Maybe there was a little contact on the throw, but that didn't look like the greatest decision from where we're sitting.
Easy reset over to Moyer. Mechanics primarily using that far side of the field from where we're looking.
Swinging it around here. Hammer over the top. Man's covered. That's a big block by Gross. Maybe a little, don't worry guys, That first one was my bad, but I got you on this second one.
Not sure if his stall count was running out and if there was gonna be a turnover, but maybe just looking to see if he could get it to the Mechanix player was sort of the first able run to that space, but again, Gross able to make up that ground, and he gets the D.
Distance.
Yep. Something again you see a lot of, especially with Carpenter, did it earlier. Gross there making up, really being able to make up space.
Ames able to get a lot of separation there on that cut, but not a lot upfield. Breaks the mark.
Yeah, Mechanix really just allowing him to kind of have any throw there. He's able to just kind of figure out the right throw he wanted. Cox looking downfield here for Gross.
That's a big shot.
Oh. Maybe just kind of had to come back to it a little too much. Wasn't able to get as much free space as he would have liked.
It was a little deep when it went up. Uh-oh, they got a man streaking into space. Good switch by the AlleyCats.
Very good switch.
Rock on the mark. Carry on the mark. Hubbard on the sideline. Calls a timeout.
All right. We started 12-7 here, and again, still 12-7. Almost, a little over 2 minutes here off the clock just for this first point. So again, I think that's a smart call. Mechanix really wanting to get the point there, not really wanting this long point to go and slip away. Sometimes those long points, if you're going back and forth and you can't get it, sometimes that can be a big blow to your psyche there. But of course, it also now allows the AlleyCats to put out a fresh defensive line.
Yeah, a little reminiscent of the first half where we got a couple turnovers by the O-line, maybe a couple jitters coming out.
We got a special report here. Since that Callahan did happen in the first game, 5 Ultimate's going to be given a 10% discount at 5ultimate.com for the next 24 hours. You can see the promo code right there on your screen. Callahan Master
B62W?
B62W.
That's
Callahan
not easy.
Master B62W. I feel like saying bingo here, but all right. We're going to be back to the action here in just a second.
Our lovely producer there, Heath Shanahan. Great update. Always, good to get discounts. Always good to get ultimate gear, and you get 2 in the same here.
They put up another one.
Quick shot.
And Austin Engel able to bring – is that Austin Engel? No, that was Anthony Davis again. They really like isolating him out of timeouts. Able to elevate over – I believe that was Ringwood for the AlleyCats? Or was it Hutton? No, I believe it was Hutton.
There was a little bit of contact there towards the end of the play. He went down. He didn't maintain position, I think, all the way, but I think they were going to contribute that to the contact. And, again, I think that's why they – since he stopped the spin on the disc, that's why they gave him the goal.
Yeah, and that's not an easy shot there going up the line. You got to curve that around the defender there, and Hutton's looking for it, but they're able to put it out into space enough for Anthony Davis, really a fast player, able to run onto it and elevate for the grab.
Yeah, as you said, anytime they've been able to isolate someone, especially there in the end zone, they've primarily been going with him, and they got what they wanted. They called the timeout. Got their D-line, a little bit of rest there, and now we're kind of resetting where we were at the start of the quarter, except a few minutes have gone off the clock, and Mechanix are 1 point closer to tying this thing up.
Looks like we got a double team. And they peel off pretty quickly.
Ames very good at being able to pivot around and use his body to work through that double team.
Yeah, Ames is a good mix. He's primarily in a handle role, but he's definitely an athletic guy. Can create separation like you see here with his legs. Kind of a weird sense of humor, though.
Yes, Keenan cuts to the far side of the field, comes all the way back, gets the disc, and then with another assist, his 5th assist of the day, hits Rick Gross.
Big fundamental, making it look easy out there.
Yeah, but you saw, he cuts to, again, our far side of the field where they had the disc. They swing the disc to Ames. They come back. Keenan Palou cuts to the close side here, gets the disc back, and then hits Gross in the end zone.
That's a much cleaner possession. That's the one you want him to see out there.
And with that, the 247th assist for Keenan Palou now makes him the all-time leader. He continues his all-time trek to put on more and more assists and is still the all-time leader in the AUDL.
Props to that, Keenan. That one pull doesn't quite go out of bounds. Looks like they're going to still run down in a bit of a junk defense here for the AlleyCats.
Quick second there. Jacobs able to man up.
Able to find someone under the double team. I like the Jacobs on Davis matchup we got downfield.
I agree.
These guys they're a little shorter, but they got wheels, and they can both easily elevate in order to make some of these grabs.
Not afraid to use their bodies to just lay out and do anything they can to catch the disc.
Here he comes up to it. Who will come down?
Ooh, Nick Hutton, I think he gets the D.
I'm sure we have to wait a little longer to answer that question.
Levi Jacobs might not be happy to getting the block taken away from him, but Nick Hutton gets another one there. Again, sort of a last second. They only got 7 seconds, and the refs are the ones stalling them. The players are not counting that down, so sometimes you got to have a mental clock. So maybe sometimes you release it too soon.
Hutton with a rip.
Fella able to keep himself inbounds. Easy. Throws it far side. Granholm not able to get to it. It looked like maybe he wasn't as. I think Fella was maybe expecting him to be a little quicker with that cut to start, and it took him a second or two to make it, and then I don't know.
I think they were on the same page, but I bet you he wants that decision back. That's a tough throw. Again, you're going cross field. There's a lot of traffic there. You're trying to get it over the defense.
Yes.
Trying to drop that in. I'm sure Eric Leonard's going to have a word with him about that one.
Mechanix taking another shot downfield.
Loskar with the challenge.
Against, he gets himself there, and, not an easy catch. Looks like the guy he's on there, he's a little windy. He's not able to. I think Howard's wearing himself out there for the Mechanix. And then again, Loskar makes use of it, and again just kind of sits under him a little bit there, and not able to maybe take it. I think maybe if he would have thrown it sooner, I think we would have just waited a little bit too long. Now we've got kind of some sloppy play going on.
Ready to give it right back.
D's going, or the disc is just kind of being traded back and forth here.
AlleyCats looking for some quick motion out of the handlers.
Let's see who can, again, another kind of long point here in the third quarter. Let's see who can make use of it.
AlleyCats teasing that swing around, but instead, here we have the big hammer, cross field.
And Fella comes down with it.
And that's a bit of a sloppy point, I think, from both the drops and the decision-making perspective from both sides.
Obviously, you'll take the goal. Maybe not too happy with, obviously, the play in between. But, again, AlleyCats able to go back up by 6.
They are, and they're able to use their legs and their athleticism to come up with a couple good blocks there, and Specs bringing down the final one.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Indiana Ultimate Foundation. The IUF's mission is to promote the growth and development of Ultimate at all levels in the state of Indiana. Visit them online at indianaultimatefoundation.com.
Going to pull out of bounds there by the AlleyCats.
Mechanix going to be able to center the disc, and they will get it at the 30-yard line.
Looks like they're isolating 3 men out in space.
Going to take the quick shot downfield.
Jones elevating, challenges that one early. That's a one-throw turnover.
AlleyCats have not generally allowed those deep looks to work today. They've been challenging a lot of those throws.
That's where that depth and that athleticism really starts to pay off. Nothing's easy going away for these Mechanics.
Contact foul there. Carpenter's going to be able to move the disc up 10 yards. Directing his troops out there.
Scuba over the top to Kobira. Unmarked for the moment. Scrambled a little bit. Puts one out to space. Jones for the second time this point with a big play. Well, that one might not go on the stat sheet. Oh, too little down there. Big fella bringing it down. Bails out Carpenter on that blade. Kalava. That was an unfortunate, I think. He saw his man had some space, but a bit of an execution error by Kalava. Detroit content to work it up their own sideline, it seems. Putting up one. Carpenter trailing.
Ooh, he's not in. Just barely out of the end zone there. Oh. And he's able to drag his feet in.
I believe that's Eric Hubbard, another player for High Five. Looks like we're feeling our legs a little bit, and maybe letting getting winded affect our decision making out there.
Yeah, definitely been trading back and forth here. Fair share of turnovers for both teams.
You like on the defensive side, you like having a lot of chances, but again, you work that hard to get them. Although maybe it looks easy when Jones is getting up there for that first throw turnover, but you'd like to see him maybe cherish the disc a little more, maybe look for a little cleaner of a shot. Margin back up to 5 as the AlleyCats coming out here on O. Cox centering to Ames. Got Gross in space. Looks off Schwartz. Swinging the disc around. Finds Plew on the opposite side.
Carey's going to clear downfield, try to create space for someone else. And now the AlleyCats working themselves into a vert stack.
A little spread out here, but able to gain some yards. Gross to Plew.
And they're going to call that out of bounds.
That's going to be a tough grab. Looks like he had to leave his feet just a bit before he secured the grab. Putting a big one up. Cox closing in.
And
that Gross trailing.
Yep, Gross with the block there.
Rick Gross stacking stats out here with the O-line.
According to my custom stat sheet here, this is about his third block of the game. Plew's going to take the deep shot.
That's
Brock going to catch up to it, and beautiful throw.
Mark looks like a bit over, and that only paused Keenan a second as he pivots around, fires the crossfield backhand.
And that's one of his better. You'll see him. He'll just gear up for that and just launch it downfield. And then again, his sixth
got the
assist
wheels
of
to
the
come
day.
up with that one. Well, unable to punch it in after getting it back off the turnover.
So about 3.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. AlleyCats lead 15-9. Nick Hutton and Travis Carpenter have been doing been kind of sharing the pulling duties, been splitting back and forth.
It's like they're going to try to roll this one out, and they are successful at it. Let's see if they can get the double team set.
It's a nice roller pull there. A lot of times I think you'll see if they're going to roll it, Nick Hutton's going to take that.
Oh, Granholm saw that one coming, but closes a little late to get the block.
And Granholm's allowing the
Big swing.
jump, but doesn't want the swing. And then, of course, they kind of wanted him to take that shot. AlleyCats able to transition here.
Valiant attempt there by the Mechanix player to throw it back inbounds.
Carpenter swings it across to Jacobs. Fella's open downfield. And is able to come down with it.
Cool, calm, and collected. Jacob Fella. From his fellow, Levi Jacobs.
That was clever. Took his time. Got the throw he needed. Fella able to see it all the way in.
It's a bit of a tight look there, but I guess when you're almost doubling them in score, there's going to be a few times when guys get a little overconfident.
So AlleyCats have now built themselves a 7-point lead. Still plenty of time left here. About 15 minutes left in the game. Carpenter, one of his maybe longer pulls of the day.
Puts him in the end zone.
5 yards deep in the end zone. Not was able to gain as many yards for the Mechanix. Kirkman getting some work with the disc now.
A little contact on the mark there by Kalaba.
A little too aggressive. Mechanix are going to get 10 yards there.
Looks like we got Wenger on Hubbard. Hubbard's been one of the Detroit Mechanix. He played for High Five this last year, but he's played for Detroit for a few seasons now, and he's been one of their more productive players. Plays primarily with the D-line, but is certainly capable of scoring and assisting.
And Capiamba able to squeeze out those last few yards there in the air, and he gets the score for the Mechanix.
Yeah, and that was, again, a big shot, but by no means an easy look for the Mechanix. They're really having, as a big, trying to curve it over a capable defender there, and Jake Fella.
Yeah, I got to tell you that he was looking at the disc primarily in the air, just kind of knowing where he was on the field. Very smart. Be able to feel out where he needed to get into the end zone.
See if the O-line can make quick work here and get that D-line back on the field for another chance. Definitely getting cooler out there. You're seeing some guys wearing jackets on the sideline. We had a pretty nice spring day. It was in the 60s earlier. Sunny. Flew in the middle of the field. Swing it back to Cox. He's got Gross on the break side.
Gross getting a lot of touches today with the disc.
Swinging it back to the fourth side.
Gross is going to take off downfield.
Nice break by Ames to Cox.
AlleyCats doing a good job of wanting to throw it downfield, but then just taking the smart throw. Plu going for another assist and hits Gross.
I believe he's on fire with those hammers. That's three for three right there for Plu.
Plu now with 7 assists in today's game.
And Rick Gross able to really get separation everywhere on the field.
Yes, he was a guy that, they were, he'll play some O and D in the past, but I think this year they're going to really be looking to use him primarily on the offensive line.
You have that kind of separation. That's, in a thrower like Plu, that's easy money. May have another zone type line out here on defense for the AlleyCats. The zone hasn't been generating too much pressure, but again, like you pointed out, Alex, it's forcing them to make a lot of throws, stifling a lot of their looks upfield. See if they'll have a little more of the same. I was wrong there. Looks like they're pretty much in a man-to-man defense here.
Carpenter was maybe 1 or 2 steps away there from laying out.
Yeah,
knows he fouled him there. The fouls maybe have been a little bit more in the Mechanix' favor, but definitely has not translated more in the scoreboard.
Got under a minute to play here. Detroit able to get some space. He's got a man up.
And then Granholm kind of, I don't know if he was maybe lost sight of his man, but looked like maybe he was going to set a double team. Dagger's able to pull away and then gets the assist.
He's tapping his chest there, and he knows it. Here's the replay. And 1 strike cut undefended, and then by then the defender was a little too out of position to catch up. Good looking conversion there for the Mechanics. Able to swing the disc a few times, gain some yards up out of the handler movement. Score one. AlleyCats got 46 seconds.
Again, we have because of the Callahan we had earlier in the game, we have a 10% discount we are offering at 5ultimate.com. The promo code Callahan Master B62W.
AlleyCats fielding it in the middle. Brock out in space.
Carey, nice grab. Back to Ames. Something you can definitely notice ingrained in the AlleyCats offense, working it back and forth with handlers. Cox is able to look
just
downfield.
A little far.
I think it was a good look.
Absolutely.
Was able to.
Defender laid out there past Cox, looking for an ambitious block, leaving him able to throw to that break side. He's not quite able to connect. 8 seconds. 7. Putting up a prayer. Looks like that one's coming back.
It's not going to get to the end zone, and time's going to run out here in the third quarter.
Oh, our game clock's a little off. So Cox getting another shot. He's got Brock. Couple bodies. Swatted out of the air as time expires.
There we go. So the official end of the third quarter here, we have the AlleyCats leading 17-11 over the Detroit Mechanix.
Now the AlleyCats will be, they jumped out to a bit of a lead in that second quarter, and since then it's been fairly even. They've been trading both ways. I think the half was a 5-point differential.
Yeah,
now we got 6.
About 12-7, I think, at halftime.
Yeah.
Able just to add another point there this quarter.
On one hand, you're happy that they're not letting Detroit back in it. On the other hand, maybe they took off the gas a little bit with some of these. Still getting a lot of chances out there with the defensive line, but O-line getting a little trigger happy, though. You got to do that at the end of the quarter.
So what do you think both teams are stressing to themselves here before the start of the fourth quarter?
Well, Detroit's got a lot of ground to make up, but they don't want to start giving the disc back, because that's how you're going to get into a long point, and you're going to just end up giving the AlleyCats more chances to convert and extend that lead. So I think if you're Detroit, you got to play offense like you know how. Trust your defense to come out there. The AlleyCats are looking to run and gun with some of these possessions, so maybe try to force them into some higher risk, higher reward throws. Make them go deep, and then try to burn them on the other side.
Yes, definitely don't want to be satisfied with the 6-point lead here. Another announcement here with the winner of the Layout Ultimate Gloves is Max Jacobs. Congratulations and enjoy the Layout Gloves. Layout Ultimate, what the pros wear.
Congratulations, Max.
Second bucket, here we go. All right, sorry, our last contestant. Get to that third bucket.
I believe the AlleyCats will be coming out here on defense to start the fourth quarter.
Yes. Coming out on D. So again, just with that 6-point lead, you're looking to, I think build off that. You want, I think, like we mentioned, a lot of those points there going back and forth. Maybe certainly not as clean as you would hope for. Whether you came out with the score or not, you want to try to improve upon that. And so, obviously the Mechanics 6 points, they're going to need to come out and get some quick answers. But AlleyCats, I think it's just business as usual. Try to build on that lead.
Absolutely. And again, still a nice night for Ultimate. It's cooling down a little bit. A little more humid out there. Maybe a little bit breezy, actually. But these guys so far looking pretty fast. No one's too gassed that I've noticed. So looking in shape. Hopefully they can extend their lead here a little bit more in this fourth quarter and come away with a really satisfying win.
Travis Carpenter there with the first pull of the fourth quarter. We are underway here, 12 minutes remaining. AlleyCats leading 17-11 over the Detroit Mechanix. Taking quick work, going over to the break side.
A little close to the stack there with that second throw, but they end up catching it.
Steslicki back to Donovan. We're going back and forth here. Trading back and forth there for about 3-4 throws. Downfield looking for Davis.
Hutton's guys been kind of putting on island there deep, but they pull him in. He's going cross field. That's a miscommunication. And the AlleyCats will have a chance to go 80. Looks like Carpenter will pick up.
Fellow was certainly there around his man, but just a little miscommunication, hoping for, maybe the defender to go one way, him to go the other, and then now the AlleyCats able to possess the disc. So again, we're going to see Carpenter pick the disc up, start with the primary handler duties.
Teasing the double team. It's like Hutton's man peeled off of him. He's launching one.
Jacobs was just kind of sitting there downfield, and then by the time Hutton threw it, Jacobs had just kind of said, okay, I think I need to come back and get the disc. And
yeah, good body by the defender there. That's a good play. Picks one off.
Colin Ringwood. That's about the third or fourth time.
Gaps.
For the fourth time, the AlleyCats have been able to shoot the gap, like you said, and just kind of peel off their man and get the D. Carpenter with the disc.
Around break, puts one up.
Oh.
That's a tough grab there for Fella, but not quite able to come down with it.
But like you said, he's been grinding. Whenever they're getting the turnover, he's certainly been taking his opportunities. Davis now at the disc on the sideline.
Putting one up out of space. Got a chance to catch up. Not able to. He's shooting deep. Hutton in the area. Attempts to go over his man. Man attempts to body him, but that disc just keeps dying left.
We won't get credit for the block on that one, but it certainly didn't make it easy for his
I
man.
wouldn't give him credit, but good play, Nick. Getting a little motion from the front of the stack there. Jacobs gets some good yards under.
Kobira's looking for Carpenter deep.
It's hanging. We make it a good one.
Stay in bounds. He does.
And that's a conversion by the AlleyCats D-line.
Kobira there. First career assist in the AUDL.
Congratulations, Kobe. Getting the replay here. You hung it up there, but I'm sure Travis would tell you. Putting it right there where he wants it.
5 Ultimate Gear giveaway, start of the fourth. 5 Ultimate Intensity Performance Gear recently hit the interwebs. The Performance Gear collection includes new compression shorts, tights, and sports bras. Daywalker hoodies.
Sported by you, you're looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I got to tell you, like I said earlier, this is really nice. They also have Stealth Odyssey pullovers, new short designs, and a redesign of their Electro jersey. Today, 5 wants to give away a new one of their Bookends Daywalkers to one of our viewers. Tweet at Universe _point there, sorry. And why you want a Bookends Daywalker, and use the hashtag #GiveMe5, and we will select a winner before the end of the game. Thank you, 5 Ultimate.
Looks like the Mechanix tried to see just how many AlleyCats they'd thread the pass through, and not sure exactly who's getting credit, but this does hit the turf and off to the races yet again for the D-line. Gross and Carpenter working in space. Nice break by Gross. Kalaba. Good fake. Still looking to generate a little action there with Carpenter in the backfield.
Stack being a little hesitant downfield, but they're able to hit John Jones finally.
Centers it to Wanger. Carpenter with the disc. Granholm pivoting.
Doing a good job of staying patient here.
He's got an easy one. Not able to connect. Let's see if the AlleyCats go back. Yeah, it looks like they're going back into their original defensive set. Big swing over the top.
Plenty of space there.
Transitioning to maybe a man-to-man. Jones looking for one. Not quite able to connect.
Hubbard sitting there with plenty of space. He's just been working it all the way up the field.
Yeah,
almost waiting for someone to guard him.
Here we might get a highlight. Kasper Zicki in the area. Big bid. Not able to come up with it. So kudos to the Mechanix for maintaining composure there. Wally's not a small man, and he was coming in hot. Looked like. Let's see here. We can see again Kasper Zicki coming in. And just inches away. Bobby Moyer. Ice in his veins there for the Mechanix.
So we got about 7 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. AlleyCats lead 18-12. So again, not much has changed in terms of the separation. Still a 6-point game here. About 5 minutes have gone by.
7 left. Let's see if they can hold on. Pull fielded around the 30.
There's Samson with the disc. Looking upfield. Hits Gross. Making quick work of the swing throws. Schwartz able to stick with it there.
Just at the space.
Cam Plew with his first goal of the game after racking up all those assists.
That's good. Nice, quick, clean possession. Quick score for the O-line.
So Cats now with a 7-point lead here. About 6 minutes, 46 seconds left here. So again, Schwartz sees that he's going to be inbounds still. Hits Plew for the score.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by Dr. John Rimple and Health Zone Chiropractic. Proud to support and provide peak performance for Ultimate in Central Indiana. Visit us online at healthzonechiro.net. That's healthzonechiro.net.
Looks like we got Laskar, Ringwood, and Kobira running down on defense.
Laskar
got some separation deep.
His man.
Hutton, though, coming off the back.
Got 2 down there to make the play.
Elevates. Hits it twice. That block just as nice.
Looking for the foul, but no call there.
I saw your name before I saw the picture.
Oh, okay, good.
Levi Jacobs able to save it and throw it back in. And
that's
Bella.
a grab. What a play by Jacobs.
One of the greatest plays that you will see. I say that because it's called a greatest, and he's able to save it.
Laskar on the line. Laskar liking that scooper. I think that's the 3rd or 4th one he's thrown this season. Maybe all time as well.
So that excellent field awareness there from Jacobs, able to save the point. And the AlleyCats able to come with another
big grab.
Great grab. Boy, I tell you, that's a great string of ultimate there from the AlleyCats. Definitely got to be in contention for the play of the game, I think, here when we come up towards the end.
I think get fired up. Yeah, everyone looking good on that point.
2 really big plays there. Jacob saves it, throws it back in. So, again, that's what we call a greatest. He's able to dive out of bounds but throw it back in before he lands.
Great awareness. And one-handed, the big fella.
Let's give it to number 7, Levi Jacobs, with the first greatest.
That one pushes the AlleyCats lead to 8. Got 5:40. Well, yep, 5:48 remaining.
Boy, I tell you, that's where, ultimate players, they're able to put on their athleticism. That's a beautiful thing to see. Really great plays there. Not very many times you're going to see a Callahan and a Greatest in the same game, but we have it here today. AlleyCats, on one hand a good thing, the other a bad, but both teams not failing to disappoint when it comes to the big plays today.
Definitely entertaining. Kasper Zicki, you could taste that one, but Mechanix working it backwards some. Find a man in the middle of the field.
So Mechanix finding themselves now down by 8. Hubbard going to be working the disc again. Hits Champo.
It's a stall.
So again, after 7 seconds there, he got the stall call. Ref was counting.
Great team defense there by the AlleyCats. Nothing open. Sorry, by the AlleyCats on the Mechanix.
And AlleyCats
Another
able to
break.
score again.
Making quick work on the offensive side after able to shut them down on the defensive side.
So AlleyCats now 21-12 lead over the Mechanix here with about a little just under 5 minutes left in the game. So the lead now up to 9 points. So again, it seems to me like maybe AlleyCats just got a little bit more gas in the tank.
Absolutely. These guys look like they're in good shape. And again, at this point, I don't think that Detroit's able to close the margin. The AlleyCats are really just looking crisper as the game is going on.
Yeah, but then again, just keep playing until the clock's out. They're going to just continue to, again, as you said, show their endurance. And
Absolutely.
Mechanix here, again, going to try to answer back with a score now. But again, there's another drop. Carpenter looking for the quick transition. Hutton works it to Kobira. Back to Carpenter. There's a little bit of contact. Now, since they're close to the end zone there, he's going to be able to bring it to the center of the end zone line. They're going to set a double team. Scuba throw. And are they going to give it to him? Refs are looking at each other. Haven't gotten the official call yet. Looks like they're going to maybe discuss. We got one ref signaling it is a catch. And it's officially, it is a goal. Let's take a look. He's going to float it. Oh, looked good to me.
Yeah,
great
looks
catch.
like he got his hand underneath, so highlight factor in full force tonight.
So again, just maybe the tired legs contributing to that drop there for the Mechanix. AlleyCats able to answer. Again, I think if you're going to ask, be interested to see. Certainly, Coach Eric Lander's got to be happy with that. That they get the D and they're not content. They're up 9. They're going to try to push it and get the score, and they do.
Yeah, they had a good fast break offense there, and they centered it in. I think Carpenter had that one in mind a little bit before even Nick made eye contact, but ends up working out.
I kind of had a little bit of a feeling the scuba was going to be his look there. So we got a 10-point game now. AlleyCats lead, approaching 4 minutes left in the game.
Mechanix swinging it sideline to sideline.
Lucarati there, he getting some touches in the game. Hubbard again kind of been one of their workhorses today on the O-line, as you said.
Finally getting a good breakup field. Swinging back over. He's got a man going, but good help by Wenger to shut down that look. Inside break to the middle of the field. Hubbard looking to throw and go. The corner.
Taking a shot there, and Hubbard is able to bring it in. Mechanix with an answer.
I think he just whiffed on that. He looked like he had
looked
it
like
red.
he maybe could have. I was almost
That
maybe
Granholm, I believe?
anticipating it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was there.
Granholm was close to getting a paw on that one. A lot of throws again. AlleyCats not making anything easy upfield for these Mechanics. Having to switch that field a lot. Here's the replay. Granholm close. Not quite able to come away with the block.
Hubbard definitely seemed thankful to have caught that one.
Yeah, he looks it in. Now they got the AlleyCats coming back out on offense.
Capiamba there with another pull.
Looks like the AlleyCats are back in a vertical stack. Cox enters it. Cox unmarked.
Cox able to lose his man there. He's going to float down for Gross. He's going to try to position himself. And he's able to get
Jump
up
man.
and catch.
Rick Gross elevating. Tell you what, if I had some space on my wall, I'd want a poster of that one.
Gross there getting his 5th goal of the game.
Capturing 2. Yeah, you can only do 100 at a time.
You wonder, Kyle Cox would be meant to hang it up quite that much. On one hand, maybe not, but on one hand, you got to get the fans what you want, what they want, really.
I know, I shouldn't be capturing Caleb's replays, but I shouldn't be doing it. I just do it as a backup.
Nick Hutton this time with the floaty pull downfield. AlleyCats immediately able to defend their men. It's Howard making a nice cut there, faking out, coming back in. Davis just not able to kind of set his feet and get his hands and feet working at the same time there. Carpenter going to pick it up again with another opportunity for the AlleyCats. Foot block there. Don't see too many of those in the AUDL, I think. That's able to really see what he was looking for. And
Yeah, I think you read Hutton's eyes a little bit on that one.
yeah.
Throw out to space,
Oh.
and another drop by the Mechanics. Carpenter to pick up. Let's see if they can get a bit of a cleaner possession here.
Carpenter
Hutton going deep from the front. Carpenter with a nice throw out to space.
Throw. Oscar getting down there to help him out. Able to fake out his man and just see it all the way in. Great cut from Loskar there.
AlleyCats able to convert. 80 yards, 2 quick throws. We got a goal by the AlleyCats.
So AlleyCats now 24-13 lead over the Detroit Mechanix. We got about 1 minute 41 seconds left here in the game. So again, as we can see, AlleyCats kind of approaching that magic number there of 25. Certainly not something they have to get, but I think definitely just been scoring at a quicker rate here in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. This defensive offense is really looking to attack. There a lot of throw and goes. Really looking deep, for better or for worse, on a lot of these possessions. And on that time, they really get a good, clean conversion. Off a nice throw from Carpenter to Hutton there to really break things open.
Casper Zicki there showing off his pulling skills. Sam Stone getting a D point in, hustling down, showing some great effort.
Wenger going for a bit of a foot block himself.
Just like he hits Champo there. Swings it over to Kirkman, who's going to look downfield. Hubbard's in the area.
Fella.
A lot of defenders there.
And
Jones.
2 hands for a safety.
There you go.
Jones.
He's going to.
Gets the block but goes down.
I think maybe there's a little bit of contact to the head there.
You gotta hope he's okay. Let's step away for a minute here.
DiscStore.com is a proud supporter and sponsor of this broadcast. Pick up your next disc from DiscStore.com. DiscStore.com provides the best prices on team jerseys, guaranteed. Ask about the AUDL discount at DiscStore.com.
All right, so again, we have some gear to give away. The winner of the 5 Ultimate Bookends Daywalker is Julianne Schmidt. Congratulations and enjoy the sweet swag from 5 Ultimate.
John Jones getting helped off the field there. Looks like Kyle Cox has come in for him.
Definitely walking by himself, so that's a good sign.
That was a nice block there. He was the original defender on the man, but it's good to see a lot of help pressure come up when those discs go up.
Used 2 hands, really made sure he came down with that one. Nice throw to space there to Cox, who then swings it over and hits Samson, who now that you got a D-line turnover, it's good to have him out there being able to handle the disc.
Yeah, you got Cox and Sohn, 2 normal O-line handlers.
So,
and Wenger holds on to it a bit too long. Looks like a stall called.
Mechanics are going to now be able to possess the disc. We have about 30 seconds left here. They're going to take a quick shot.
Wasting no time.
And hits. That's going to be Champo there in the end zone for the score.
Yeah, tough read on that. I don't think Wenger ever really found it in the air. Nevertheless, though,
the AlleyCats now going to go back to one of their primary O-lines here.
Got 21 seconds left.
So again, this is a great time, I think, to be able to practice kind of those late clock scenarios. You know, again, they're up 10, but you're definitely going to have games where it's, almost, maybe you're down 1 or it's tied and you got 24 seconds left. And you need to be able to kind of know that you've had that practice in with the late clock. This is, again, a really good scenario. You have it, I'm sure, in practice, but now with, a real game scenario with 24 seconds left, practicing your late clock management.
Yeah, and what you want, obviously, the margin's a little bit bigger than can be made up in 24 seconds, but what you want ideally is for the offense to have a good look at the end zone, but if it does result in a turnover, then you want to leave not enough time for the defense here, the Mechanics, for them to get their own shot on it.
And if someone's open, you got to take it, but again, it's a great time to practice that. Ames able to work out of the double team, hit Brock.
Yeah, clear them out there a little bit with his pivot. Plu. Nice throw out to space for Gross.
Got his 8th assist there for Keenan Plu. And 6th goal there for Gross, leading their teams respectively in those categories for the day. But again, as you saw another great throw. Wind's got to help you maybe a little bit, but I think Plu's definitely had enough of those throws that he's good at kind of knowing how he needs to throw that, and is able to get the assist.
Yeah, really put that one on a rope for Gross. Get some late clock defense. 10 seconds left, and can't try to get a good look, put one up.
So again, as we just said, a great time to now practice your late clock defense. Make sure that if it's a situation where you're tied, they don't score. And again, Mechanics now getting a chance here to work on their late clock offense.
Yeah, nice hang time on the pull. Ringwood almost able to cut off that throw.
Quick
Pass
look.
Goes up. Hutton elevating.
Oh.
He gives himself a little bit of
he helped himself with a few extra yards there at the end.
And able to get into the end zone. And what do you know? Our boy's getting another shot. 2 seconds left. Maybe they possess it.
Again,
maybe Gross has still got a little bounce left.
As you can see here, Hutton times it, just able to got himself a few yards there towards the end. So we got a 25 to 15 game. 2 seconds left on the clock. And again, you think the AlleyCats take a shot here?
Fans getting on their feet for this last point. Someone's going to let this one hit the ground.
Then let the clock run out.
And that's a win.
And the AlleyCats will get the win here. Cox throws it up to the fans.
He almost got that one up to the press box.
He almost got it. He almost got us on the stat sheet there. We come to the end of the game here. The AlleyCats get the 25 to 15 win.
That's a good, solid first win of the 17 season for the Indianapolis AlleyCats.
And one of the better things I enjoy about the sport of Ultimate here is, as you'll see here at the end of the game, every player shaking hands.
Yeah, we like to, if there's any Detroit Mechanix viewers listening to the broadcast, we'd like to wish you and the fans good luck for the rest of the season, except, of course, when you play us. And hopefully, I believe Detroit will be looking for its first win next week. AlleyCats will be off next week and facing, well, I'll have to check the ledger on that one, but in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back.
So take a quick break. You were watching the Detroit Mechanix versus the Indianapolis AlleyCats here on UniversePointProductions.com. All right, so now let's take a look at our BE Ultimate Better Than Ever play of the game.
I think the decision was pretty easy here for producer Heath Shanahan. We're going to have a good 1-2, actually. Double having is Levi Jacobs diving out of bounds, throwing it back in for Jacob Fella to come up. And then just later that point, Fella's going to put it out there for Colin Ringwood. And the layout score, everybody looking good for the AlleyCats.
That was our BE Ultimate Better Than Ever play of the game. BE Ultimate, putting a different spin on Ultimate apparel by focusing on high-performance fabrics, quality workmanship, and rapid turnaround time. They are Ultimate players making Ultimate gear for the Ultimate community. Visit their website at beultimate.com. This has been our Universe Point Production broadcast of the Indianapolis AlleyCats versus the Detroit Mechanix. Final score here, again, 25 to 15. Indianapolis AlleyCats winners over the Detroit Mechanix. We thank you again for watching, and we look forward to broadcasting for you again soon.
Yeah, we'd like to give a shout out to our camera crew at the top. And hopefully bought some sweatshirts because it's got a little chilly out there, but doing great work here, bringing you the full field view, the highlights.
Definitely
all know
something
and love.
we appreciate.
Producer Heath Shanahan.
Making it a lot easier for us.
Yeah, telling us when to quiet down and jumping in. And then myself, Brian Ventura, and Alex Hutton here. So thanks again for watching the Detroit Mechanix versus Indianapolis AlleyCats on UniversePointProductions.com. See you next time.
You getting that greatest there? Do what? You getting that greatest over? Oh, yeah, I'll load that up.
We would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Health Zone Chiropractic. Enter the zone of peak performance and all-around great health. 5 Ultimate, supporting Ultimate from the end zone to the dance floor. Disc Store, offering the best service and best price on Ultimate gear, guaranteed. BE Ultimate, Ultimate players making Ultimate gear for the Ultimate community. Layout Ultimate, the most durable Ultimate gloves. Layout Ultimate, huck farther, throw crisper, and catch every pass with Layout gloves. Indiana Ultimate Foundation, supporting Ultimate at all levels in the state of Indiana. And of course, the Indianapolis AlleyCats.